city POV of this car, guys, not that one. We even got this inside, guys. Number 13. Let's go. Hi guys, in this English video today we'll drive BMW e46 318 Ti with 143 horsepower and this N42B20 engine. Of course, some people say it's not so strong and has a lot more problems than the previous generations. But if you take care regularly on your BMW, it can serve you really well. Even this N42 engine, it has a really high working temperature of more than 100 degrees, so that's why it got some problem with the valve seals, as you know, and sometimes it has problem with the extended and broken timing chain. These are the most common problems, except there are some errors connected with vanos and so on, and some sensors, but mostly these are the problems. And of course, excessive oil consumption is also possible. Enough talking. 143 horsepower with a manual transmission in this compact, the last compact car after E36. This is E46. Then BMW decided to go with the first series, the last compact. It has no any MPAC. It is just a standard one, but it's beautiful and good one on already 232,000 kilometers, and the car still feels really stiff. Let's go and drive it in the city. Today is really rainy. What is like to drive this car in the city, guys, and we'll see how much it consumes during our test drive today. So let's go, let's jump on the wheel. First gear is sometimes hard to put, but you put third gear, and after that first gear is really easy, and you have to know exactly where it is to put, but it's really stiff. Shift knob and the steering is stiff too, so it's a true BMW feeling. And when you get inside, you don't know that you are in compact actually, because it's fully E46. Even the running gear is from E46, so it's not like the previous generation of compact. Let me zero this consumption and I'll show you how much this car will consume during our drive. It's almost in working temperature already. The thing I like about this engine, guys, is how alive this engine feels actually. You don't have to rev it to keep up with the traffic. It's really responsive. The response is right under your foot, your right foot on the gas pedal, and even on 4th gear at 2000 RPM it actually reacts like every BMW should. So it's a really small but responsive engine with a pretty linear acceleration without some explosion, but pretty cool acceleration after all. Today we have some wet roads. DSC is off, that's why everything here is in yellow. I like to have the DSC off, but guys, hey, don't turn the DSC off if you don't know your car. It can spin somewhere. Bad roads here. If you drive normally this car, you should get around 11, 12, maybe from 10, but 10 will be too optimistic. Around 12 is a liter per 100 kilometers in the city, and the car is running on petrol, not on LPG. It can be done to work on LPG too, no problems with that, but it's a relatively small engine, so I like the petrol more. The 320D is much more better as a fuel consumption, but the feeling of the petrol engine, of revving the engine, is not the same on the diesel, as you know. We got pretty nice options on this compact. We have black roof in the interior, and we got some heating on the front seats. Board computer says I have only 98 kilometers left in my fuel tank. So far, what are the expenses on this car, guys? I have changed the radiator, they often leak, so you have to check regularly your cooling system in order to avoid engine being overheated. So I changed the radiator, changed the antifreeze, and look for any other leaks, but there were no such. So for now, that's it. I changed some parts on the running gear, nothing too much. And yeah, I changed the gasket on the head because it leaks oil from there. My mechanic said the timing chain was already changed. When you open the oil cap, you can see inside if it's yellow. You see these things, the plastic things which holds the timing, which guides the timing chain. If they are yellow, it's very much possible that you have a changed, not original timing chain. On this engine, it's good to change the timing chain every 100,000 kilometers or less in order to be safe. One tire fire, guys. It's an open differential car, very responsive, as I told you. Easily to go through the gears. The car is not very wide, it's around 1.3, 1.4, somewhere between ton, but feels wide. Doesn't feel any effort in moving. My fuel consumption so far 12, as you can see. If you put too much gas on the pedal and do some acceleration, you can get around 15 in the city, 14, 15, 16. Sky is the limit when you have a petrol car, you know. The car has some sport exhaust at the end, but it has some silencer. It doesn't feel loud in the city. When you remove it, the silencer at the back, you get some sporty exhaust of the 4-cylinder engine. Other than that, it's standard. We have the business city here, nothing fancy, just standard stuff. This car screams to be driven when you are inside, like every BMW being direct from these ages. The car has some nice induction noise from pulling the air through the filter inside the engine, and it's with the stock filter right now, with the stock airbox. It can be changed with a... There are nice replacements for the box with the sport filter. You can change also the headers, exhaust headers, so that you get more power and more noise, and you can do a remap. These are the 3 easy things to do on your N42 engine to make it more alive. The car is comfortable, it's stiff, but at the same time it is comfortable, so I like very much this setup. Renault Arcana, as you see, E-Tech hybrid, the test car. Looks beautiful, but the engine dynamic is crap. As I told you, pretty linear engine, but with a nice power delivery through whole RPM range. So keep that in mind, that the car should be really free revving, nothing fancy, but just free revving nice engine with a good response.
Police reported ahead.
At the pedal. So you can see my driving so far in the city, and I'm running on the long streets right now, and I have 11, and it may drop more, but I'm not doing too much kickdowns, of course. Extra urban, I think it can be pretty fuel. The fuel economy can be good extra urban, depending on how you drive, but it can be around 7-8, or even less if you drive like a grandma. I like the noise from the engine, the stock one. It's really cool. And everything works together. You feel the whole car as a one body. You're not feeling it floaty like a big heavy car. It's really nice to drive, even in the city. But the true enjoyment of this car comes with the B roads, with the twisty roads, with a lot of turns where you can easily throw it around without much body roll and enjoy the rear wheel drive and the manual transmission and the full range. The good things about these smaller engine cars and shorter gears, you have a nice revving engine. You don't need too much speed to hit the limiter of the gear, and you can rev it pretty much everywhere without being too much above the limit. One tire fire, guys. There are some LSD kits for this car, of course, if you want to be more drifting. Pretty good visibility from the car, so it's easy to go in the small streets like this. And let's see how is it to park. This one has a Parktronic at the back. Good mirrors. The shorter end really helps to park it easy. You heard the Parktronic. Let's not forget we are not with the Subaru and we are lower, so I always check in order not to hit the exhaust, my expensive Chinese exhaust. And we continue. 12-liter as you see, but I did some revving, that's why. So we continue with our drive. I have to say that this car is one of the best cars for drive. I mean, not as a power, but I mean as a handling, as a balance of the coupe, because engine is small and it's really far away from the front of the car, so it's really mounted here at a maximum at the back of the front, so it gives you a really nice balance of the whole car, and it is small. So if you try such car on a twisty road, especially with a bigger wheels and some suspension, some stiff suspension, you will be amazed how well this car handles and how it feels through the wheel. Of course, you can get the bigger engine 25i, which is M54, but your front will be heavier and the engine will be more in front, so you will lose some of this nice balance, but of course you have more power to rev your car and to enjoy the acceleration, so it's also a very good choice. I like very much the shifting of the gears. It goes so nice in position. When you input the gear, you can put some short shifter here in order to have shorter move of the gear shifter. and faster shifting in most cases. I like the explosion. It starts like a turbo diesel, but it doesn't boost, of course. But the initial start is even better because you have the response of a petrol engine and the initial power of a diesel, but without the lag. Nowadays you can find such good cars in good shape around 2,000 to 3,000 euro. They were even cheaper before that. So in case you need some small car for a city, but with BMW direct steering, with an enjoyment of a manual and nice 2-liter, I mean nice revving 2-liter, a wife engine, maybe you can go for this 380 Ti. It's a good starting car for younger drivers in order to feel the rear wheel drive, but without too much power to easily spin somewhere with GST off. You can still make some stupid drifts with this car, especially on wet. It has some soul. So guys, if you are watching this video after some years, this is how this manual direct 3rd series is being driven, and I enjoy every second. It's much more solid as a build, and of course the engines are much more responsive, but of course they are not so reliable, so you have to take care of it. And after all, put some money aside if you need to make some major rebuild of the engine. After all, it's worth investing and then just driving this good engine. As I told you, the engine is super at the back and you have a lot of free space, and this gives you a great handling. The tires are here and the engine is behind. That's the best way for handling. Second gear, full throttle. As I told you, nothing fancy, but smooth power delivery through the whole range without any stoppings, and pretty predictable power. If you expect high output and some crazy power, you will not find it here. It's just for the guys who love to use all of their power and to rev it higher and to experience all this beautiful revving and sound. .5k RPM, guys. When remapped, you can go to 7k. You can put some cams, performance cams, to have some power even above 6. And it's better if you can buy another thermostat or tune it, if possible, via software to make lower temperature of opening, around 90 degrees, 95. It's best. It's made for fuel economy and some ecology to work on such high temperature. I hate that feeling when you're putting too much gas. You're revving the engine on the first gear and you're with rear wheel drive and it's wet, and your car starting bumping at the rear and making dun 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 dun. I hate it, guys. I really hate this open differential dun dun dun, one tire fire on such rainy conditions. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this driving video. We'll see you in the next video. You can watch our other driving videos in the channel. There are some English ones too before, or some Bulgarian one if you want to see just the driving and not listen to my language. See you in the next video guys. Don't forget to subscribe and give some thumbs up. Bye guys.